Greetings everyone, here's Lodric, and this is a game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. This is my play by email match against KilRoy. He's a commander of the Allied Forces, for me it's the Empire of Japan. This is scenario 1 with no modifications and standard 1-day turn setup. We arrive at the 27th of May 42, and last turn was not so active. Still, my army is moving in New Zealand, and my minesweepers trying to clean up the port of Rangoon. Some patrol craft outside of Colombo hunting for my sub, but failed to find. And this already damaged AP gets the next torpedo hit, so now it's heavy fires with heavy damage. And finally go down. I think this was now the third torpedo hit. For AP, this is a lot of punch and power or damage. So I was already wondering that it must go down after the second torpedo hit. But it's done. But for sure. And I sent some patrol boat to check how's the situation, but I find here two, I don't know, patrol craft? Yacht? Yeah, this has this similar shape. Sub-chasers, patrol craft, but they have a little firepower, but I think the main purpose is that you have a little anti-submarine equipment and force the submarine to keep underwater and cannot make a surface attack. So my sub tried to attack here a convoy, but failed. And again. Yeah, so we enter the air war already. And I think this is the first time you can see here now the Ki 49, the new Japanese standard army bomber, the 2A. So this is with the armor protection already. The first time live in action. But it has the same bomb load than the Ki 21, so there's no improvement. It's only faster, more protected, better armed, and a little more range. Everything it is at the end better. It still only consumes 2 engines, so it's not more expensive to produce. It's also need only 1 pilot. And the service renting, I think, is similar. So at the end, it's better than a Ki 21. So why not produce it? I only skip the original Helen, the 1A, because this is more or less really the Ki 21 with no protection, and this I don't like. Then I can better produce it Ki 21 a little longer. And this is my escort carrier support aircraft now for Australia. More I cannot spare so far. Unluckily, my torpedo bombers, my dive bombers don't find the target. I mean, they find it, but they cannot hit it. Yeah, maybe next time. But the dive bombers are enough to strike enemy destroyers and light cruisers. The battleships are now all more or less broken or disabled or damaged at least. So I don't must fear any heavy presence, at least in the next coming 2 weeks. Yeah, bad weather. Yeah, okay, no afternoon airstrike more. So also a very quite short turn. My tanks catching up with the base force out of Chengdu. They don't want to surrender, so at least they're following the street and not going to the deep mountains. So I can send my tanks behind, try to catch them. So attack of my division taking Gisborne, and yes, I retake the city and the port, and also force one unit to surrender. I think this machine gun platoon just gets destroyed. And the same here. So nearly every city is now under control in Sichuan. Only the capital of China is Chongqing is still here. Ready. This was only a base force, so it doesn't matter. So and KilRoy tried to take Hamilton, but my divisions just arrived in time. He maybe was hoping that I needed a little longer. So my divisions are in move mode only, but I now have much more defense value. Even if I lose 50%, KilRoy lost even much more because his units are maybe already tired. And he cannot break the fort level. I am out of supplies, of course. And I also have here disabled units. But for the allies it's much more, so you can see double the disabled units plus a bunch of destroyed units, and one unit completely gets wiped out. So this is now the best opportunity for me to, of course, make a counterattack. I'm not so sure if it works well if I don't have the supplies, but I can maybe try it. And now Gisborne is open, so I can try also to maybe bring in additional supplies via cargo ships. And these are all bombardments with not really much impact. Ah yeah. The Chinese bigger counter-offensive strike. Yeah, and I had here only 400 attack value, and I had this fort level of 3, I think. But it was not enough to hold against 10,000 attack value. And some Chinese trying to catch up early on. So KilRoy come here with nearly 9,000 attack value. I had 500. KilRoy dropped to 50%. I have much more drop because I think my units are still retreating and they're broken and they have maybe high or less morale or all of this. So I lost here a bunch of troops, but I can only retreat as fast as possible, and 2 units getting here destroyed. I think these are old gun units. For KilRoy is also a lot of disabled units. You can see 1,200 units getting disabled. So they cannot act more. So he lost from his nearly 9,000, he's dropping down to 7,500 active value maybe. At the same time, he attack here in Chongqing. And he is with double the attack value what I have, but we are in defense mode. I think this is a double terrain city, and this means he is not strong enough to kick me out. Even if I have here high numbers of disabled units, and I also have here high numbers of destroyed guns and tanks. I lost here somehow 4 units, but these are all artillery stuff. For KilRoy, it's a lot of infantry getting disabled or destroyed. Still, I must maybe send reinforcements, but I conquer already all of the rest, so I can normally bring all what I have here. Full division. This full division can also reinforce maybe Chongqing. So I think latest at that moment I can hold it. At least I can block it. I not really can take the city, but I can block the industry, so there's no supplies more coming for KilRoy. And then he can have 1 million Chinese units without supplies. I think they hardly can do anything. Good. So there was no real airstrike, only my carrier strike, but this was really only little. So air losses are on both sides very minor. Ship sunk. At least one of these APs sunk for sure. I'm not more sure if or there was 2. I really don't know. But there are some APs. And why not get rid of them? Army were lost points. Maybe we can check now. I cannot remember more what was our last army lost points, but of course now I have here 1,160 army lost points. Still, the kill ratio is more than 10 to 1. You can say maybe 12 to 1. And this is, I think, still a good ratio. I had this turn destroyed ground units. So I lost here a bunch of anti-aircraft equipment. And the engineers, I'm not so sure. And I think the artillery get destroyed. The engineers, I'm not so sure. I think this engineer is getting destroyed somewhere else, maybe in Saipan or somewhere else. But they are Kwantung army. Can be. Maybe I lost them here in this hex before. But it's all only support equipment. It's I have so many artillery equipment that I not really know what I can do with them. These are all this 15 centimeter. They are okay for open terrain, but for this kind of battles, they're not so helpful. So I try to get here my 2 regiments or partly of a division, but they are at the end a regiment to support here down. Then I have here a full division I can bring in Chongqing, and one more, plus some tanks trying to get rid of this base force. I only must get rid of this division and this base force plus this base force to really say, okay, everything is secured, to finally focus everything on Chongqing. But I must send at least some reinforcements, so I will maybe take the one regiment going here, the other one regiment maybe helping here in the north, so I can bring 2 full divisions to Chongqing, and then latest at that moment it's all done. My forces are rallying, I think next turn in. You can see that some units are already moving here north, no, southeast. I lost this battle, and my units are now here all in a very shitty shape. But I have at least some units already here. They arrived. I sent them northeast. Because I was not sure first where KilRoy attack, if he go more east or if he go southeast. But it looks like that he's focusing for southeast, or he follow my units. So my units more or less retreated in this hex. Here I have only light equipment, because I not really care this city so much. If we go for this city, it's okay, but these are more or less only block forces. This city, Hengyang, is much more important for me. Here's a major airport. I built up also the fort levels. This I must hold. We will see. Here in Burma is no change. My army arrived with, to catch up with the British. So we will have here next turn a big battle. Maybe the end of the Rangoon army for the British. New Zealand, I don't have more any detection on this British forces retreating to Sydney. I think they need here the repair shipyard. My invasion fleet is coming, so I can maybe go in and take this base if there's nothing defending, at least nothing too strong. We take Gisborne. I don't know how many times we changed already the city. Hamilton, my defense was also able to hold. My divisions are not so bad shape, but of course totally out of supplies. But I don't know how strong is now the Allies. They suffer high losses. So maybe it's enough for me to kick them out. We will see. I must keep enough forces in Auckland to hold this. I must keep enough forces in Hamilton to completely control the city. This must be open hex, so I must kick out the Allies, that I get the supply flow from Gisborne to Auckland. Or I open here a new supply base, and then I can have a follow plan B. Here I think my subs sunk some APs. I get also more scouting information that he is now 2 carriers again. Looks like 2 carriers. Could be 3. No, must be 3 carriers. Is the number of airplanes that's too high for only 2 carriers. So 3 American carriers are in Pegan. And where's my carrier fleet? My carrier fleet is still in Yokohama. I need one more turn to get my carrier done. So next turn I can create my fleet, my first carrier fleet division, And if I know that the American fleet carriers are in Pegan, then we have maybe one more carrier battle soon in the next coming days. This also tells me that I cannot operate anything, only submarines here nearby. There's too much air power. So we must see. 3-4 turns, and then we have maybe the next big clash. And maybe this time I have really much more aircraft capacity. I have here now 3 fleet carriers plus 2 support carriers, so 5 carriers are here. This is maybe enough, more than enough to take on the Americans. I have still the better airframes and the better pilots normally. And KilRoy also lost a lot of his dive bombers, so maybe his fighters are okay, but his dive bombers are maybe already a little. I don't know how good he can replace his pilots in this stage of the war. We will see. We will see. Overall, you see the point ratio don't really change too much. I think it even gets in better, and I think it goes slowly in the direction of 6-1. Yeah, I mean not, but between 5-1 and 6-1 something. Good. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.